Morning, buddy.
Hey, what's up, brother?
How are you, bud?
Good, man. How are you today?
I'm all right. Tired and hungover.
Dude, I've been drinking so much more lately too, man. It's every day.
I know, man. It just dealing with all the bullshit. It was what was it, Abiel's thing? Are you drinking more during this deal with the X, like way away from the box? That pretty much sums it up.
Oh, dude, absolutely, man. It's it's pretty bad. I'm in the same boat.
Fuck it, I'm gonna invest in rehab facilities for when this thing ends.
All right, good morning, folks. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning and hope you had a great day yesterday. So just want to do a quick mic check. I did put the sound a little bit louder, so hopefully it's not too loud. We're just talking. He could hear the rain in the background, so hopefully it's not overpowering.
Apparently, YouTube could hear our conversation as well.
Which one? We have plenty.
The one we just had off the mic about rehab facilities and all that.
Oh my God, dude! Yeah, so it's true. I mean, I'm speaking to my brother, and let me mute this. Is gonna replay the sound. And we're like, now with nothing to do, you're stuck home. The only thing you can do is get a drink, And I don't know about you guys, man. Me and I were talking just a few minutes ago. And I feel like I'm drinking a lot more than I would even when I on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. I'm drinking every day, So it's we're gonna need rehab, no question.
Yeah, I said I was gonna invest in some rehab facilities for when this thing ends.
Yeah, no, it is pretty bad, man. I mean, I also realize I know it's a lot of people, especially myself. I'm realizing how much. We can save without going out to eat.
Carlos, I think you need to turn down YouTube this morning. You're getting some distortion.
Yep. So I just turned it down. Hopefully that's better. But also, I mean, we're not going out to eat. You're not doing anything else. You're not spending in gas. You're not spending on this. So it's like, you're saving in other areas too. So if there's some good to this, that could be an area where we can look at. But enough about that, guys. Hopefully everybody's okay. Let's get into what we have in the market here this morning. Kind of get a rundown of what's happening today. So let me just get our charts over here for Norm to dissect.
Yeah, so SPY is roughly flat, we'll call it this morning. It was actually up. Futures were up for a good chunk of the night, and then we're selling off. We're back bouncing off that once the jobless claims numbers came in. Jobless claims came in at a little over 3.8 million versus 3.5 expected. Continuing claims were significantly lower than the estimate at 17.99 versus 19.2 expected. Um, Personal income was down by 2% versus 1.5. You got an echo coming through of me somewhere, I think, too. I think it's in the room. Um, and then, so a slew of economic data out this morning. A ton of earnings have come through. It's what a lot of these plays. I'm going to say, guys, usually we break down these earnings pretty significantly. This is a different earnings season than one could expect. No, none of these analysts at the investment banks have any idea what to predict. A lot have just thrown their hands up in the air, haven't even changed estimates. There's never been a larger disparity between the low and the high estimates of what people have. They just really don't know what to do. So a lot of these things are strange. You look through reports and you're seeing that you see on one report, I'm just using Twitter as an example. Twitter beat all their estimates, and the next story is Twitter missed all their estimates. So it depends on what gauge you're using it against. So it's a little bit confusing, overall, and we'll get into last night's conversation, but overall, we've seen some real strength in the market. Dr. Steenbarger spoke about that last night. If you haven't watched it on YouTube, our conversation with him is still up there. So be sure to check that out with Mike Bellafiore and Dr. Steenbarger. But all these sectors are really just on fire. Tech's shown a little bit of weakness the last few days, but that's just relative to the rest of the market. Everything's been on all cylinders. You've got the big boys not wanting to miss out on this rally, and now being more convinced that maybe we did put in those lows in March. So just a crazy time to be trading, and the volatility is here for a while, or VIX is coming down, but it's stopping just above the beard shaving point. So we've got a little bit more to come anyway.
Yep. Agree 100%, man. But again, speaking about yesterday, guys, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, that was an amazing webinar by Dr. Brett and Mike Bellafiore. These guys, just the knowledge that they have and that they're willing to share with us is amazing. So if you did not catch that, we do have that up on YouTube. So please take a look at that when you get a chance. It's definitely worth looking at and spend some time there. So all right, so now I'm getting that the volume is too low, guys. So let me try to find a balance here. So I'm just gonna crank it up a little bit more now. Make sure you guys can hear me. Okay.
Kind of like the earnings reports we've been describing.
Yeah, right. So let me just I adjusted just a little bit. I want to do too much. I want to do it gradually. So you guys let me know how that sounds there. All right. So it looks like the chat room is good. And now I just want to check to make sure YouTube is good. I want to fix one part and then screw up another one. So you guys let me know. We'll just keep tweaking it until we get it right. And I'll make sure to save these settings for us going forward. All right. So let's take a look, guys. Here we removed what we had here on yesterday on our watch list. Let's look into what we have this morning. Again, kind of half and half here. There's some stuff that is green, some stuff that is red. Let's take a look at the red this morning. Let's start there. So starting over with American Airlines today, again, has been very active. It is down 2.1. Right now, 3.3 million shares traded at the moment. So some pretty good volume out of American Airlines. Again, it had a couple of two really good days. And now we are gapping down here a bit. So again, not by much, guys, compared to the move that we're making. We made a really good move here. So again, this drop here is not as big as someone would think when we're looking at down 2% or so. So very active right now. Let's take a look at that. We'll keep American Airlines on our list. With that said, it just came off our gappers list here because it's slightly above 2%. Let's look at what the other airlines are doing. Let's look at United. I know United is another one that's also been doing pretty well, guys. Up here, pretty much flat, but the last 2 days doing excellent here. Now, some of these stocks, I'm noticing they hit some pretty good highs this morning early on around 6 o'clock and are now seeming to drop down a little bit, some back to the previous day close and some under their previous day close line here. So United could be exciting, guys, for possible continuation. We'll take a look at that. INO is on here as well. INO this morning is not looking pretty good right now. Very choppy pre-market activity, as you can see here. Again, you do got some great volume on INO, which is typical, which is normal for INO to have. But right now, if you look at this pre-market activity, it's very, very choppy at the moment. So interesting daily chart too. Every time it gets in this area down here, it has bought back up the last 3 days. Today, hanging out in this area again. So let's see how that opens up a little bit later. We'll take a look at INO. Let's take a look at BP. BP, again, foreign stock, guys, so we won't spend any time on it. If you're wondering why we never look at it, again, it just doesn't trade very well, so we're going to skip on that one. But it's the same situation. Also another foreign company.
Oils. Yeah, I was just going to say we've got a bunch of airlines, bunch of oil stocks. I mean, these airlines were essentially priced
Yep.
like there was a very, very, very good chance they were going into bankruptcy. And now it's looking, I mean, not a great business future, but
Yeah.
the worst may not happen. That's what's happening there. And you've got oil prices that have rebounded. I believe last time I looked, they were up like 15, 16% this morning. So bouncing off the floor. I mean, they're still super low on the futures, but nevertheless, they've come up a little bit. And then also in oil, you got ET Energy Transfer Partners, which is oil and gas servicing. And a major fund disclosed a 7% stake in them this morning. So, you've got some industry trends going on there, and not necessarily individual news on those two sectors.
Got it. And that's what NAT is. It was a tanker that was active yesterday, guys. We had this
It's a
one on our
tanker,
list.
yeah.
Yeah. So again, you can see how it popped up here, giving some back in the last couple of days. But this was very active. It was nice at the open. Had a beautiful pop that we took advantage from 8 to about $9. So again, and Brian was the one that kind of called this one out, and we took that on that day. So really amazing trade there. So yeah, so let's look at some other ones here. Zoom. Let's look at Zoom. Zoom is one that's been pretty active and exciting to watch. I didn't watch it yesterday closely. It doesn't look like it did anything too exciting for the most part. But here right now we got a pretty good pre-market activity right now. 408,000 shares traded. It is down 4.5, guys. So again, it's just continues to drop nicely here. I'm going to remove some of these levels because our highs and lows kind of got some areas covered already. So we'll throw Zoom on here as well. 408,000 right now. After this, we have Twitter. We were talking about Twitter as well. Again, look at the volume now. 5 million shares traded. This one, obviously, with some news that you can see here, the drops that are happening on Twitter, as high as this morning, again around 7 o'clock or so, as high as 35.50, now down to 29. So Twitter is in play today. A lot of action, as Norm mentioned when we were talking into the market pulse about Twitter. Let's take a look at what else is down. CAPR, excuse me, CAPR. This one again, it has a great
Some
day.
people call it carps. Some
Yeah.
people see it as crap. Some people see it as carp.
Yeah, yes. Somebody in the webinar yesterday asked, "What do you guys think
Yeah,
about this crap?" And I'm like, "Wait, what is he talking about?" So
yeah,
something in that
and
sense, yeah,
CAPR.
yeah. So this one, guys, exploding yesterday, going from basically opening at around $5, hitting all the way up to 11. Look at the action in intraday; it's very clean trading. What's the ATR on this one, by the way? Is I'm sorry, the flow is it's 8.6 million shares flow. Possible
Yeah, it's tiny,
continuation
tiny
today.
company.
Yeah, this is very, very small. So we're going to put this down here. Again, it was the talk of a lot of traders yesterday that look into these type of stocks, obviously exploding nicely. Possible continuation. So we'll keep an eye on it for now and see what it does there. Let's take a look at CHK. CHK we usually have on our list, but never really keep it. It doesn't trade all that well. Today they're down huge though.
It might
37,
today.
yeah, 37%, man. What's the news
R
on this?
rumors they're getting ready to file bankruptcy this week.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
So
we will definitely keep an eye on this one, guys. Again, that could definitely move this, as you can see right now, already down quite a bit, 37%. Volume 318. Hopefully, we can get a good pre-market activity out of this one. But again, this is definitely one to watch this morning. All right, let's look at what's in green. Let's look at least a top 5 or 6 here. OSTK, we haven't seen this one in our gappers list in some time. There was a point either last year or the year before that, where this was very active. Every single day, this was on our gappers list. Today, they're gapping up nicely, 13.6. Norm, any specific news for OSTK, overstock.com?
Yeah, they reported earnings this morning and their sales were up 120% year over year. I haven't broken into their, it came out a little bit late, so I didn't get a chance to really dig into it. But the major takeaway that I saw was their sales were up about 120% year over year.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we'll add this to our list. OSTK, guys, from experience of trading it and or either watching it so much, it can move very wild. We've seen this stock be very, very aggressive. Again, the float on this is 39, but it can trade like if it was a 5 million shares flow. So just keep that in mind. It's one of those stocks that can really, really get going.
I want
OVV,
to say something about CAPR before you dig
yeah, yeah.
into it.
Let's go back to
You
it.
know, as a community, we really don't focus on low floats or penny stocks or micro caps or any of that, which this one really falls into all of those above. In the webinar we had last night, Mike Bellafiore was talking about just they had a huge day on this stock yesterday. Uh, those are guys with a whole lot of information, a huge support system, risk managers, and a lot of experience. Um, Money is there to be made on that. We've got a viewer on Twitter that's here every single morning talking about he made 6 grand on it yesterday. Not
Yep,
saying you
yep,
can't make money on it. They're definitely tradable. The risk associated with trading something like this was a 10-ish million dollar company a week or two ago. It's over $100 million this morning or yesterday, I guess, when it peaked. It's you just got to be careful. And like you said, it didn't show up on our list because we filter out things that are priced under $5 on this list.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
just use extra. I won't say one way or the other. Trade something not that won't touch my watch list because I can't effectively manage risk on it. If you can or somebody else can, great. But just know that there are inherent risk in trading low float penny stocks that could potentially cause problems for you if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things we see a lot, just to add on to this, because this is important. This is probably more important than building our watch list, keeping consistency, right? What we see a lot is traders do very well in this area, right? Right here, trading mid flow stocks, large flow stocks. They do excellent. They have a very nice equity curve. Then they go mess around with these low flow stocks because they see the percentages, 30%, 20% very easily on very low price stock that you can buy, load up the board and buy so many shares. And
20,
then
that was 400, that was up like 400%
yeah,
yesterday or
yeah.
something at its peak.
So again, and then they hurt their account. They give back all the good work they've done here in their regular area. So again, just stick to what you're consistent in. Not saying there's anything wrong doing this, but if you don't have the experience in doing this, just stay away from it because you will give your money back. It will take it from you. With that said, guys, let's hop over to we had NS is popping up here. What is this? NS this morning is an energy company. Again, nothing exciting here. I don't see anything great at the moment, so we'll skip on this one. Let's head down over to OVV. OVV this morning's got a good daily, but I'm not seeing anything in the pre-market. 111,000 shares. Oh, hold on, let me scroll over. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so pre-market, 111,000 shares traded right now in the pre-market. I'm not seeing anything too great on it. It is up 9%. Could be a sleeper. What is the float on this? 150 million shares float. Again, just the pre-market is pretty dull at the moment. So, Norma, unless you have any good news on this that is worth watching, I'm gonna just move on to Facebook here.
No, it's just oil and gas pump that we already talked about a few minutes ago.
Yep, got it. Thanks, man. So here is Facebook, guys. Facebook is up nice, 7%, 940,000 shares traded. We definitely want to have this one on our list. Obviously, some good news there. Norm, fill us in on what's going on.
Yeah, they reported earnings after the close yesterday. Their earnings and their user growth both topped expectations. I mean, these companies, the social stuff, Twitter, Snap, Facebook. I'm sure I'm leaving out God knows what, but all these are in their perfect environment. Everybody's trapped at home and can't have any in-person contact, so the only way you can do it is over these services. On the other side of that, the way they actually make their money is through ad revenue, and companies that are closed aren't necessarily advertising. The one thing in Facebook's real favor was they took a massive hit when this whole thing first started, but they've seen some stability in recent weeks that they mentioned, and maybe the trough in revenue's already been set. So
Gotcha. So yeah, we definitely keep an eye on the Facebook guys on here. Let's take a look. Let's go down over Tesla is next. Let's see what's happening there. So Tesla at the moment it is up a 6.8, 504,000 shares traded. Tesla's just been so strong over the last couple of days. Might be getting back to its all-time highs over here of 950 area. So again, definitely worth watching Tesla. They got some pretty good stuff going on here. Norm, nice big gap on them this morning, 7%. What's going on there?
yeah, they had earnings last night as well, and their unexpected profit has skyrocketed this thing. I know that, we talk about our market close show we have every day. There were some guys in the room, including Eamon. I think he got a 60 some odd dollar move out of it after the earnings yesterday. So congrats to everybody that traded that. Should be a good morning for Tesla. While this is something I trade, we were talking about, low floats I won't touch. Tesla I trade on occasion, and it can be a good trading stock, but you also have to have the experience to be able to do it, because with something with that price and the amount that it can move, you can really get hammered if you don't have proper risk management in place.
Yeah. No, it's one of those that definitely is very, very active and aggressive. Let's take a look at ET right now. So ET at the moment, what do we have here? Here it is, ET. All right, so ET 262,000, but again, another energy company as well. Again, not a great pre-market right now. We're up 6.3 on this with some good volume, but again, just not doing anything great at the moment. So we'll skip on this one for now. AZN. Same situation. We got quite a bit of these. Looks like a foreign stock. You can tell here by the daily. What kind of
Yeah,
stock
it's
is it?
AstraZeneca. It's European drug company.
Okay. All right, so we'll bypass that one. Let's look at, we got some more coming up here. APA, again, another one of these oil companies. So we have APA, we have How coming in now, SOB. What is PE? Is PE one of them as well? Yes, PE is also in that sector also. So again, all these are doing well. They're popping up a bit today. What's Oxy doing? Oxy is one that we usually watch pretty good as well. Again,
Not doing anything.
yeah, this ain't doing much right now. Again, they all have been having a little bit of a comeback over the last couple of days, but as far as pre-market, we're not seeing anything great out of these morning. All right, folks, let's see what you guys have. But before we jump to that, Norm, what do you have on your end that you like?
Um, well, other than what we've already talked about, not much. I like Zoom, Twitter, Facebook, Overstock. I mean, we've talked about everything I got here, really.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Do I have Zoom on here? Yeah, I do have Zoom there. All right, perfect, guys. See what you guys like this morning. Let's look at CCL and the cruise lines this morning. So CCL right now, again, nice big pop over the last couple of days. They're giving some back again. A lot of these companies starting out pretty good here and just kind of giving some back this morning. This one's right at the previous day close line after having a great day yesterday. So yeah, definitely active. 3.4 million shares traded. We can definitely put this on our list. NCLH is another one on here. Thanks, Mike, for giving us those ones to look at today. So Mike has been with us for some time in YouTube. Mike, I think we actually met him in New York. A great guy. He's always active on YouTube, so thank you for always being there. NCLH, guys, this one is up only 1.1%, 8.1. I'm sorry, 1.8 million shares traded. So a lot of volume on NCLH, even more than we're usually seeing out of this stock this morning. So definitely want to have a look at this one. This one can trade a little bit cleaner than CCL. CCL is always going to get the amazing volume when these stocks are in play. But NCLH is following up here very nicely as well, giving some back this morning. Let's look at LCTX. This one, guys, penny stock. We don't look at this type of stuff here, so I'm going to just skip on this one. MCD. See what McDonald's is up to. Not a great pre-market right now. Pretty light at the moment. Only 100,000 shares traded. It's not doing much in the pre-market at this moment. SOB is a old company.
McDonald's has had earnings, and they're taking a hit in sales from the coronavirus. So that's why it is in play. But like you said, not great pre-market. We've got so much to choose from that.
Yeah,
maybe on a secondary for me.
Yeah. So on this one, guys, yeah, could be actually. You know what? That's a good secondary just to kind of see if it's going to be explosive. But right now, not anything too great. We do have MTDRA. What is that? DRA. What's going on there? Yeah, it's not coming up, guys, so I'm gonna skip on that one. Let's look at BA and Oxy. BA has been giving some back this morning. We do have some good volume out of this one. Again, dropping down, guys, a lot right now. I like BA. Let's put it on here. It has been trading clean, so we can watch that. Let's look at one more on the YouTube chat, then we'll jump into our chat room. Here's Microsoft this morning. This one is up 1%, 720. What's up? Again, a lot of these stocks up pretty nice earlier on in the pre-market, around 4 6 a.m. this morning. It's just kind of giving some back now, only up 1%. So Microsoft, again, we have a lot of similar stocks that look like this one today, as we can see. We can keep it on here. It's got some good volume and a good pre-market action. It's going to be tough to pick out which ones to watch today because we have a lot of stocks that are moving. If you could look at here, we got some good volume as well. And again, I think our list is kind of a, there's a lot. We started with a lot more green, and now we're starting to get a little more red. If you notice that, Norman, our gappers list kind of doing a little flip here, right?
Yep.
A lot of stuff hitting our previous day close line and getting 2% under. So this list seems to be growing a little bit. We got Snap here, MGM now. So a few ones here switching sides from green to red. All right, let's take a look at our chat. Well, let's start over here, guys. I'm gonna start with Steve B. Microsoft had earnings, so we have that good. Let's look at Guild from Edwin. Gilead this morning, they are again been really active, as high as 87 86 yesterday. I'm sorry, this morning pre-market. I'm gonna remove these levels. We got some highs and lows here, got us covered for the most part. Right now it is again dropping down a bit. A lot of stocks kind of giving some back this morning. Gilead is a great stock, but again, it's a tough stock to trade, so I'm not going to add it for that reason. And I know Norm hates this stock, but I'm not going to add this for right now. I think we got plenty of stuff that's going to look a lot better than this today. LUV. This is LUV. Hold on, let's get it. LUV up on our montage. So LUV this morning, again, just a very similar action to what we're seeing a lot here. Southwest giving some back, going red to green. I'm sorry, green to red as well. American Airlines, we have on our list some good volume. Again, 4 million shares giving a lot back this morning. So let's see what that does there. Are these guys getting ready for Jerome Powell's conversation? Is that what's happening, Norm? Because we know what he could do. Is that today where he's talking?
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. Oh, I missed it. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't watch the Spy yesterday. By the way, guys, shout out to all the parents that are homeschooling. Norm, I know you're doing that. I'm doing that. I trade 1 hour and then I become a teacher after that. So has not been easy, guys. So if you're doing that, shout out to you. It's not easy. And hopefully these kids can go back soon, because I believe a lot of them are going to be hopefully not too behind, because as great of a job we do, we're not teachers. All right, let's look at MU, guys. Let's take a look at what's happening there. MU at the moment, for some reason MU is very light on everything right now.
I think teachers are going to get a big raise here in the next few months after everybody realize how tough of a job they do.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible what they do with these kids, to be able to have them focus. Again, I have my daughter 6 years old, and we don't spend too much time on this, but this is reality, guys. This is what's happening. So it's not easy. It's not easy, and to go through all the work, it's tough. It's tough. So, all right, guys, I think we have a decent list. Kind of going through our chat room now to see if I find anything that we have not looked at yet. But the tune seems to be the same. A lot of stocks going below their previous day close. Let's just recap a little bit here before we get to announcements. We have American Airlines again dropping down here. All the airlines are very active. United as well, same thing. A lot of these stocks all were very green this morning early on and giving some back. INO is not looking all that great right now, guys, compared to everything else that you guys gave me and what we've been seeing. So I'm going to remove that one. Zoom, good pre-market action. We have Twitter on here as well. Very nice. CHK, again, a possible bankruptcy conversations there. So this could be in play today. OSTK, look at this, taking off nicely here.
Squeezing.
Yeah. What's the short on this one? Interest, is it high? It usually was
13%. It's historically it's been real high. It's only 13% now, but
yeah, so that's not too bad. But historically, we've seen this be pretty aggressive. We have Facebook here, guys. Facebook is the only one that's pretty strong this morning with Tesla. These two guys are killing it. Again, up nicely, 7.3, doing very well this morning. Then everything else kind of going into the previous day close line and hitting the red. So again, I think we got a decent list. Let's get over to announcements, guys, and we'll come back and fine tune this list a little bit better.
All right, guys. As I mentioned, every day we're streaming. We are simulcasting the chat room to YouTube. So check out the Market Close Show with Mike, Peter, and Brian, 3:30 to 4:15 Eastern, where they discuss the closing market conditions and any earnings that come out right after the bell. As I mentioned, we had an absolutely phenomenal success webinar last night. It should be posted to the success webinar section here. I'm guessing today. It's usually the day after. Sometimes there's a slight delay in that. It is on YouTube if you'd like to watch it over there. Dr. Brett Steenbarger, Mike Bellafiore, just really appreciate their time. Great guys, personally, great traders, um, great insight. So check that out if you haven't seen it. It was one of the best we've had. Also, next week, we've got Andrews. He's going to be talking about how he uses moving averages in his short-term trading strategies. Mike's Psychology Module 2 should be up now in the psychology section. And next week, we've got our own in-house psychologist, Dr. Jonathan Katz, discussing how to maintain balance. That'll be Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern in the Lifetime webinar room. If you're watching us on YouTube and have not tried out the chat room, you can do so with the discount. Enter the promo code premarket24 when you check out for the intro membership, as you see it right there on the screen. That gets you into the chat room, some of our education materials, which includes our Class 1 onboarding every Monday night at 8 p.m. Also, if you'd like to, this is the last day we're going to have this up here, but if you'd like to upgrade your membership or become a lifetime member, you can do so with the promo code Earth Day. That'll get you 40% off the one-time payment option.
All right, thank you, Noah. I appreciate that. All right, guys, so let's get to this list. We got a pretty nice, decent list this morning with a very active market, as we can see. Again, the SPY sitting below the previous day close. Again, just kind of giving back what it made yesterday and just heading back to that 290. So let's see how this is going to end up. Again, it's turning out to be a very active morning. All right, let's start with American Airlines, guys. We do have some levels on here. Highs and lows from the last two trading days got you covered. Look at the drop on here, man. This is down 7% and continues to drop nicely. As far as levels, you don't need to add anymore. You pretty much cover between your highs and lows. And looking at this range, just trying to see if there's anything else that we're missing here as far as levels. We do have a moving average right here at our 1125. And the reason I want to mark that down is because you also have several days, and let's just draw a darker line here so you can see. You have several days using that as resistance. You got some support out of this as well. You can see the nice, beautiful drop here, supporting at that 1125 price line and then bouncing back up. So you do got some action and some volume being traded at that price level. Definitely worth putting on there. But aside from that, guys, highs and lows from the last two trading days are pretty much covered. You can mark here the high of the pre-market at 1349. But that is all that I will add on to American Airlines. Again, look, volume 4.7 million right now, so that's looking pretty decent. United Airlines as well, similar situation, not as much volume. American Airlines seems to be taking the lead here. Low of the pre-market, we'll keep one of these. The low of the pre-market for United is sitting at 30.19, so we'll mark that down. Above that high of the pre-market, all the way at 33.94. Again, and as similar as American Airlines, you have the highs and lows from the last two trading days covering you. You also have some moving averages hitting some of these highs and lows as well for extra confirmation, so that's good there. Here's a Zoom. Zoom continues to drop, guys, down now 5%, 446,000 shares traded. The low of the pre-market sitting right at 135.99, so we'll put that there. Below that, we do have a great level here. I like this one here, 125.65, guys. Check out how that is acting pretty much as support and resistance over this last couple of days that we had beginning of the month. Above the price action now, guys, highs and lows last two trading days, previous day close. You got some moving averages curling down here as well between these levels. Again, so plenty towards the top there on Zoom. As far as pre-market action, I'm loving what I'm seeing now on it. Again, respecting this 135 lovely here, getting above the VWAP, and just kind of see what kind of action we're going to get on it. But Zoom is trading very well this morning. Here's Twitter, another one that as high, again, this morning as high as 35.50. All the way up there, and now losing it nicely here. Even lost to 200. We had the 200 on here. I'm going to mark that down on the daily. It's a very important level. From the price action at the moment, towards the top, you have previous day close, highs and lows, last two trading days. pretty much got some good lines on there already. Towards the bottom, we got 27.92 from a previous levels that we did. And if you look at that 27.92, you do have some days on there are still pretty good. You want to keep that on there. Below that, you do have 27.20, also several days opening, closing, and bouncing off that 27.20. And then if we really decide to lose this and go for a dive, I mean, you got an amazing level. It's a major level here, 25.17. Look at the rejection here and the bounce back of that one on there. Obviously, you want to look out for 27. Any whole dollar numbers, those are important when it comes to these stocks dropping through so many different areas of support here. So right now, pre-market is looking really good, guys. Very active. Again, going from green to red right now, down almost 7% with some really good, decent volume on that one. CHK continues to drop here, guys. This one is already on short selling restriction. Do we have shares for short? We do not. So with IB, at least, we do not have shares for short. So again, if we don't have shares for short, I might not watch this one. Just I want to be able to watch something that we can go both ways on and kind of keep our options open here. We have a beautiful level here at 1241 towards the top. We have our high of our pre-market sitting at 21. I'm not going to mark the low of the pre-market just yet because it looks like we might be heading down here to test this area, which will be interesting to see what we do right at this 1241, which is the previous lows that we had in most recent times right on here this month. So let's see if we can get there and how we're going to react when we do. Towards the top of the price action, we do have 1729. I'm going to mark that there. Several days opening and closing and bouncing off that 1730 area. All right, let's look at OSTK. What are we doing here? All right, so OSTK is again just getting explosive. I don't even know where to put the high of the pre-market with this thing. Let's put it here at 1520 for now. It looks like it's going to really take off from there, but there are some good levels in the pre-market now that you want to put on here. Look at this 14. You definitely want to have 14 on there. You can see the resistance happening here at the pre-market with low volume, not great volume, but look at the breakout once it gets above that. We're hitting 1521. Let's see if it's going to continue to rip higher. Towards the bottom, your low of the pre-market between the highs and lows from the last two trading days and right at the previous day close line. I'm just going to move to the left here and see if we can find some areas. Look at that 1521. How great that level is going back here on the daily. So this is why we're getting some kind of rejection right on there. Let's see if we can break out of that. If it's able to break out of this, again, this is when we were trading OSTK last year. This is the type of action we're getting. And if you look at the intraday here, it was madness. So again, a stock that you want to be very, very careful with. It can really move very erratic, and sometimes even if you have a good pattern, ABCD pattern, open range breakups, the pullbacks are very aggressive. So just keep that in mind. You could be right in the actual pattern, but the pullbacks might get you out of the trade. So just be aware of your share size when it comes to these type of stocks. Zoom is the same way. You can have a great pattern show up, and just the pullbacks are so aggressive that they'll get you out of the trade. So just be cautious on that. Here is Facebook, guys. Nice big pop. We're starting to give some back now, though. We only up 6.5. We're as high as 213 on this one at the moment. Your pre-market low seems to be getting tested here and broken. 206 right now, 206.65. Let's see what it does there. Towards the bottom, guys, we do have the top of this gap down going back into February is going to be here at 203. So I'm going to mark that down. And then below that, the best level, major level we have here is this line, which is your high from yesterday around 196 or so. You got a beautiful support that you should have on your list already. So that is Facebook, guys. Again, very active. Definitely want to keep this one on our list. Here is Tesla. Tesla also very strong this morning. Has been strong over the last couple of days, guys. Again, we had this bottom here. Look how quickly we recovered on Tesla, guys. So again, we're now back up at 855. Just incredible. Low of the pre-market right now. We're getting a small bounce on it. 852. We're still looking pretty good on this downtrend. So we might be breaking that new that low that we just created there in the pre-market. Towards the bottom, there is no a great level because look at this daily here. I mean, where do you pick your levels on this daily when things were just insane, going from what 675 here to about 750, and look at this candle here at 900, giving it all back. So the levels will be a little bit tough to find something within this area. If you look at the trading days before that, we do have some kind of a clear patterns and some really good levels. If I were to pick one here, guys, again, and this is just a minor level, not a major one. Let's look at 825. Let's throw that one on there. 825 seems to be an area where you have at least 2 days, 3 days bouncing off of that. Let's keep an eye on that one if we break this pre-market low. And then towards the bottom, guys, below 800, you have 800 as a major area of resistance that can now become support, and the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Here is CCL, guys, again, giving it all back. High of the pre-market all the way at 1793. Right now, we're sitting down 2.9 after being up probably 5% or so early on in the pre-market. Your pre-market low is sitting at 16. We're getting a very small bounce, so I don't think we're going to hold that for much longer. Below that, you got your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So very similar to NCLH as well, guys. Again, pretty good starting out this morning, giving some back below the previous day close line. Now your high sitting at 1863 and your low of your pre-market, which we're getting at some good volume right now, guys. Look at the volume increasing here on this 5-minute candle. 1581 is where you're kind of stalling a little bit here. We're getting some good activity, so let's see if we're going to have a change in direction or just a flush. Below that, guys, we do have an area here. We had a nice support, 15 bucks, and usually that whole dollar number is going to have some action. Look at the action on here on that price level at 15, and then below that, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So let's see what happens there. BA couldn't hold the previous day close, so now we're giving some back as well. Again, nice big drop on it this morning. Looks like we might be hitting the low of yesterday, so I'm not going to mark a pre-market low right now. Let's see what it does in a couple of minutes. Your pre-market high, which now seems so far away, is at 145. And then towards the bottom, guys, let's take a look what we have here as far as the daily. So we do have a great area of support right on here that we held for a couple of days. Was support for a long time as well. This 136 area seems to be important for BA. Look at the bounces off of that. Once it broke down, it came back up, acted as resistance, and now acted as support. Let's see if it's going to do it one more time. It's a little bit lower, around 135.36. But below that, if we do drop that, we do have a date right on here, nice 133. And then below that, we do have the low from 2 days ago. So that is BA. Again, very active. A lot of stocks moving south this morning. Here's Microsoft still holding green. High of the pre-market sitting at 182. Your low of your pre-market is I'm gonna mark this one here because this was tested twice, testing it right now again, 179. So we got a small bounce out of that, hitting the moving averages. Let's see if it's going to hold here or not. Then below that, perfect levels here, highs from yesterday and the previous day close as well. Towards the bottom, even more support levels on Microsoft. So that's great. Let's look at McDonald's. So McDonald's, Norm, correct me if I'm wrong, earnings, earnings on it?
Yes, they had earnings.
Okay. So low of the pre-market, guys, sitting at 183. Again, this is not doing much right now, guys, but it can surprise us with earnings. See how it opens up and see how it's going to react to the news that it got. So here's a 180 is another great level of support. Not the best daily chart. This is why I'm going to keep it down here in our possibles list. I'm not going to move it up just yet. And we still got to remove some ones from our main list because we got way too many on here. 176 is another possible level. And also we have another one right on here, 172. Some great areas where we got some bounces and some consolidation on the daily chart. And towards the top, I mean, you don't need to add any more, guys. It's pretty much all your levels are on here. We got a lot of congestions up in that above the price action. CARP, again, on a day like today, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even going to watch this one, Norm. I'm so with you. Again, it's a low flow stock. We got plenty of stocks that are moving great. There should be some good opportunities. I'm not going to spend time on it, so let's just remove it.
And the other thing about that, the news that they came out is that they cured 6 patients with COVID. 6.
6? Doesn't sound like a lot. I mean,
no,
if that's hopeful, man, we're in trouble. That's not good. We need to do a lot more than that. So guys, let's recap. We have a very good list. I'm gonna make some room here. We can move some down to our possible. We're just gonna try to get down to at least 6. That's what I like to watch. I think that's a good number. Doesn't have to be that, guys. If you do less, 3, 4, whatever you're comfortable with.
Just happens to be the same number of patients cured by CAPR.
Exactly. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. Man, you're killing me this morning. That's a good one. All right, here we go, guys. So American Airlines, I like United Airlines. I'm gonna remove, but it's also a good one, guys. But I think American Airlines is it has the volume today, guys. 5.9 million shares traded. So I'm watching that one. I'm gonna remove United Airlines. Here is Zoom this morning. Zoom has been interesting. Not the best looking one pre-market wise today, but it has been interesting to watch. So I'm interested to see what it's going to do today when the market seems to kind of be taking a red day. Is this stock? It's kind of what Brett was talking about yesterday with this Netflix, these Zoom, these stocks that are doing well because the market is not doing well, right? And you can meet with people, so we're using these services. Is this going to bounce back today on a red day? Possibly the market is putting in. So we'll see. Here is Twitter. Twitter also very active, guys. I like that one also. I gotta start removing some stuff. CHK, I do not have shares for sure. So for that reason, I'm moving it down towards the possible list, right? Because they have negative news today. We're getting a little bit of a bounce right now. New pre-market low. I'm going to mark that down here, sitting at a 1569. But what happens is usually when you put the first pre-market low, this level becomes important as well. So I'm going to keep it on there because we did stall in that area. Let's see what it does when we get to that sector there, that price range. So here's OSTK, continues to just trade wild. They get a rejection after that 1521, which is an important level that we saw going back. So again, this is a stock, although it is going to be active, it's going to have tons of volume, and it can trade very well. I'm going to move it down because it's not going to be my first go-to stock. It's not a bad stock to watch this morning, but it's a risky stock to trade, so it's not going to be my go-to. I'm going to move it down. Facebook is looking good, guys. I like Facebook and Tesla because they both are really strong and they are still green this morning. They're giving a lot back so far, but they're pretty strong, so I definitely want to keep an eye on both Tesla and Facebook. Now, Tesla is getting too expensive though. Just look at the price tag now. I'm going to move that down, right? Just being picky on a few things, but that's an expensive price tag to hit at 800, so I might not be comfortable with that. Let's bring that down here. Let's look at CCL this morning. This one's very active, 5.1 million shares traded. Between CCL and NCLH, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. The volume is great on both. I'll make a decision a little bit closer to 9:30, but either one you watch here, you're going to be fine. They're both trading very well. You know what? I'm going to go with NCLH, and the reason is because CCL tends to get incredible volume and tends to be a little bit more wilder when it comes to the actual price action at the open. We've seen that plenty of times when all these cruise lines are active, and CCL is doing something just outrageous. So with NCLH having such great volume right now, 3 million shares, I think this could be the one that can give us an edge. Doesn't mean that CCL is not good. I'm going to put it here as a possible in case somebody in the chat room calls it out and sees something great on it. Here is BA. BA is putting in a nice bounce here of the lows from the previous last 2 days. So trying to get into that previous day close line. So we'll see what it does there. And then we have Microsoft. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have one extra, but that's okay. We'll as we get closer to 9:30, we'll fine tune that a little bit more. So, all right, guys, let's see what our mods are watching this morning. Norm, we'll start with you. What do you like aside from what we have here? I know you mentioned NVIDIA.
Not me this morning. No.
Oh, I thought
really
you
doesn't.
NVIDIA.
It's not doing. No, I didn't. Maybe somebody else did. I'm watching the same stuff that you guys are.
Yeah.
I've got Overstock, Twitter, Microsoft, Facebook, Tesla, CCL, Zooms, and Boeing. So same stuff we've discussed all morning.
Yeah. I think those are some pretty good ones. Thor's watching Twitter, Microsoft, and Facebook. Who else we have? I think the other moderators have not posted their list yet, so they're having a tough time deciding today. It is a tough morning to decide. A lot more stuff here in the red this morning. Again, you can be picky, guys. You saw we moved some stuff down here just based on just volume, right? CCL, we just moved it down based on that. So, all right, guys. Again, we had a great webinar yesterday. If you have not seen that
fantastic.
yet, it was the knowledge these two guys share with us. And they do this. Andrew was talking about this, and I'll let Andrew come on now and talk to you two for a little bit. They do this completely free, just giving back to the trading community, which is amazing, So, and we met both of these guys in New York, and they're just incredible, in person as well. It's just. Again, very humble to have these guys come to our community and provide that knowledge. So, guys, I'm going to let Andrew
I've
come.
been lucky.
Yeah,
I've been lucky enough to see these guys a few times
Mm-hmm.
in person, and obviously these webinars and everything else we do, or conversations on the side to set up these webinars. Every single conversation I have, I learn something from them.
Yeah.
They're just vast wealth of knowledge there.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. Good morning, Andrew. How you doing today? I think Andrew might not be able to hear us just yet. Oh, Andrew's putting his list.
Good morning. Sorry, I was
Good
talking
morning,
about
Andrew.
myself.
Oh, no.
How are you guys? Perfect. So yeah, crazy markets, gapping down again, but we're bouncing back. This volatility is just amazing. Yeah, the webinar last night was great. Dr. Brett mentioned something in the webinar that if I knew that, yesterday morning, I would have been a much better trader. It's just, as you said, every time that you listen to them, you learn something.
Yep.
And yeah, that was great. I think is it on YouTube still or
It is.
I think, yeah. So everyone who we put it on the education center, but if you are not a member, you can just go and watch it on YouTube. It's great stuff, really, really great stuff. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for that. Market is great. I just posted my watch list. Our buddy AMD, American Airline. I look at CCL. OSTK is nice. Facebook is interesting. I want to watch that. Twitter is interesting, and CAPR is a lower float stock, but everyone know how crazy it moved yesterday. So I'm gonna watch that and see if you can get any good volume. Yesterday was just unbelievable. It had 200 million, more than 200 million volume. So yeah, that's my watch list. See what Brian is looking. Yeah, AMD can be tough. AMD is a stock that can be actually very dangerous. So you got to be careful on AMD. But AMD and I are going a long way. So. All right, so that's my watch list. No one is looking at OSTK. Microsoft is interesting. I was watching Microsoft on my other account. Let's see what Microsoft is doing. Microsoft is just going to go and hit all-time high very soon. That's crazy.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Yeah, Microsoft had a good earnings. Facebook, Tesla, Amazon's up $44 this morning.
Amazon? Oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty much Apple's up a buck and a bit. Those are the only things that are really big green on the screen.